Have you ever just finished a day of work and thought, wow, this has been like a crazy day, but all you've done is spend that time in your messenger or email app? This is like a common problem that we tend to have at work, where we get inundated with the amount of messages that we receive. In fact, the cost of this sometimes can be our mental health, or we just ignore the business altogether and kind of remove ourselves from it.
It can even make us feel like giving up.
I've studied one of the best books on productivity, and actually I found a secret hack that allows you to get over this challenge.
In fact, if you follow this system that I'm about to tell you, I bet we can reclaim 2 to 3 weeks of your productivity. And by 10xing your productivity, we can ensure that the amount of money you are getting is increasing.
So probably you're like me, you're sitting there just enjoying doing some work, and then all of a sudden an email comes in. A customer or a client has asked for a request and you're there ready to do it, but you're in the middle of something, so you open that message, you look at it, and maybe you just put it to the side. And then it's there waiting and waiting and waiting until they follow up, or you realize that you were meant to do it and you just rapidly do it instantly.
And that's the reason you're not productive, because you're allowing messages to take you off of your task, meaning that when you come back to it, you feel disorientated. And as we all know, it takes a bit of time to get back onto that task.
In comes this book called A World Without Email. It's written by a guy called Cal Newport. Cal takes the approach of creating buckets or in trays for work to go into, so that you don't have to focus on always being online at every single given minute. Imagine the same problem as before, but this time your customer or client knows that there's a form that they need to fill in, and by filling in that form, it will go directly into your inbox and you'll do the work for them. But now we have another problem, because people are posting these issues into our buckets, but like me, you might be tempted to look at them every single minute of the day. In fact, you might just sit there and just keep refreshing the page waiting for requests to come in.
But that's not what this system is about.
The idea of it is to take mundane task communication and turn it into a system where we can process it. And by doing that, it means you can focus on the more mentally taxing work, like creating content, website work, or anything like that actually involves making money with inside your business.
So how do we solve the problem of people putting lots of stuff in, and when do we process it?
Well, you could just do nothing, and that would mean that you wouldn't use the system. The work would just mound up, and you would definitely tell me, Harry, this isn't working.
Or you could try batch processing. Cal talks about how batch processing is a system to use your system.
You take 1 hour of your day and go through that massive list of stuff that may have come in. And in that hour, you can process the emails, messages, just about anything that's come into these buckets. And that's the beauty of using the system and using buckets to collect stuff, because you can do it for anything, whether that's the gym, your shopping list, anything that's on your mind. At the end of the day, I process the pile of stuff that's landed in my bucket and focus on replying to any messages that I can that take about 5 minutes or less. Anything that isn't super important and it's going to take me more than 5 minutes to complete, I delegate or put into a task manager ready for me to attack the next day or the day after.
An important rule that you should have is that you don't turn your processing block into a doing block.
Otherwise, you're going to find yourself working extremely late hours with more stress than you started with. Instead, focus on processing, organizing, and delegating, especially if you're a multi-person business.
So if you want to learn how to build something like this, I would suggest watching this video next.